All right, everybody, it is time for myself, Brian Dossler, to give you my prediction for the 2015 College Football National Championship, which will be happening in a few days. Now, today it is Friday, January 9th, and the big game is on Monday, January 12th. Everyone is looking forward to it, a very highly anticipated game in Fort Worth, Texas, at AT&T and Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys. And in that one, it will be a face-off between Oregon and the Ducks versus the Buckeyes of Ohio State. And in this game, you have to like Marcus Mariota, the Heisman winner, only threw 3 interceptions. He was only responsible for 6 turnovers all year, put up electrifying numbers, and just wowed everyone across the country. And his Oregon team defeated teams by a combined average of 25 points per game. And again, offensively, they don't have any problems. They don't have any big issues because they can put up points with the best of them. With that being said, as you might imagine, as you may predict my prediction, I'm going to go Ohio State. That's right, I think the Buckeyes will be winning the 2015 College Football National Championship, the first playoff championship for college football. Now, you might be thinking, whoa, why? Why? Go with the obvious pick in Oregon. And you know what? I could. I really could. But after doing some research on both squads and really coming to the conclusion, I was sitting there when I was doing my prep work for this, and I was sitting there like, I can't pick against Ohio State. There was no reason why I didn't think they could lose this game. And here's why I think they can win this game. Everyone knows that Oregon, they put up 59 points against Florida State, right? Looks very, very impressive. 35 of those 59 points, they came off turnovers in that game. Florida State, they committed 5 turnovers. And that results in 35 points. So Oregon, they scored a touchdown every single time Florida State turned the ball over. Ohio State, they can't do that. But you know what? I don't think they will. Cardell Jones, we've only seen about 2.5 games worth of him, but he hasn't shown he's only had turned the ball. He's only thrown 1 interception during that time period. And you look at him against Alabama. Yes, their Achilles heel is the deep ball, but I think he can throw it just as good against Oregon. Because Cardell Jones, folks, was doing whatever he wanted when he was throwing the football deep downfield, finding Devin Smith, finding multiple receivers. This game is going to be a shootout. Everyone thinks it is. I'm no different. And Ohio State, they're not going to be holding this Oregon team to 20 points. This game, if Ohio State wants to win, is going to have to be in the 40s, maybe even the 50s, or at least the high 30s. This is going to be a high-flying, high-scoring game. Now, again, if they can keep the ball and not turn the ball over, I think this is Ohio State's game to win because I think they're just a little bit better defensively. Just a little bit, not by much, but a little bit. In the Alabama game for Ohio State, the Buckeyes faced off against an Alabama defense that is 4th in the country in rushing yards allowed at 88.7 rushing yards per game, which comes out to a carry of 2.8 yards per carry. Pretty impressive. However, against that great Alabama defense, Ohio State was able to rush for 281 yards, and Ezekiel Elliott was able to run for 230 all by himself. He did have a fumble, a costly fumble, that could have gone even worse if they lost the game, the Buckeyes. If he can hold on to the ball, Ohio State's in pretty good shape because you look at the defense for Oregon, they are ranked 66th in the country in rushing yards allowed at 154. yards per game. Now, as good as Cardell Jones was, again, Ezekiel Elliott was very good as well. As I mentioned, he had 230 yards and 2 touchdown runs. So both are going to have to be very good in this one. Oregon, yes, they have Marcus Mariota, who I think was obviously the right choice for the Heisman, but he is going to be out with his top receiver in Devin Allen as he hurt his right knee in the opening kickoff for the Rose Bowl. Very unfortunate accident. And also, defensively for the Ducks, they'll be without their senior All-American cornerback in Ifru Ekpreolemu. It's a mouthful. But he'll be out. He did not play in the Rose Bowl either as he tore his ACL in a practice before the college football playoff even started. Now, they did beat Florida State without both of those guys. But as everyone knows, Florida State wasn't as good as their record said. Was not good as their record said. Ohio State, I think they're even better than what their record says. I think they should be undefeated. They don't lose that game to Virginia Tech at home in September. They're undefeated. And with Cardell Jones, in the last 3 games, the Buckeyes have scored 42 points, 49 points against Wisconsin, and then 42 points against the king of the SEC in Alabama. Now they have to take on an Oregon defense and score a lot of points one last time. And another advantage I think they have is in the head coaching. Urban Meyer. He was out of college football for a couple of years, but now he's back at Ohio State. Had him for a perfect record in his first year. They lose in the Big Ten Championship last year. Now he has them playing for the first college football national championship. Urban Meyer is 4-1, or was 4-1 in BCS bowl games, and now is 1-0 in the college football playoff era. So in games like playoff scenario or playoff like games, he's 5-1. He knows how to win. And I was pretty confident he could beat Nick Saban because they battle each other a lot at Alabama. But Ohio State, I think, is going to pull off the upset and win their 8th national championship and be the first team in college football history to take home the college football trophy.